Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back with my final kind of top 10 video of 2024. We've got to do the top 10 overall figures of 2024, except this year I'm actually going to do a top 15. Previous years I've done top 10, but this year there's just so much cool stuff I got that came out this year that I could not narrow it down to just 10 figures, so I expanded it to 15. You know, my list, I can do what I want. But yeah, I mean, this list is just my favorite top 15 favorite figures that were released this year that I got. Obviously, is completely subjective to my tastes and whatnot. Um, yeah, the figures have to have been released this in 2024, and that's pretty much it. And obviously, I have to have gotten them. Will not be including 6 scale figures or high end stuff like DLX 3.0 or anything like that. If you want to see what I got and how I rank them, I have a separate video for that. If you want to see full top 10s for Vintage Collection, Black Series, Marvel Legends, or Transformers, you can also see those videos previously on my channel as well. So I do usually include my top favorite Marvel Legend and my top favorite Black Series and top favorite TVC in my top 10 list. So if you don't want to get spoiled on those choices, you can watch those first, I guess, and to see my opinions, hear my opinions more thoroughly on those lines for the year. So I also won't be including any Transformers figures on this list. If you want to see my favorites for those, go watch the my top 10 Transformers video. I just couldn't fit them in, and spoiler, already have more than one Optimus Primes on my list, so Studio Series 86 Optimus won't be on the list. Like Tidal Wave won't be on the list. I absolutely love those figures. They're a couple of my favorite things that came out this year. But I have a top 10, for those already. So if you want to see that, go see that video. But in front of you here is not my top 10. These are just some accumulated figures that I think, encapsulate a lot of what I bought this year. So like on the far left there's some DC Multiverse. That's the Nightfall Bane 2-pack with Batman, and there's also the 2-pack Nightmare Batman from the Batman vs. Superman 2-pack, which is like a cool figure. I really do like the Bane set. The Bane's really nice. I like the new sculpted bits. The paint is cool. He comes with closed fists, swappable hands, which is a great upgrade over the previous release. The Batman's really interesting too, with the design and the paint and whatnot that they went with. The fact he has a soft goods wired cape is super cool. Has a decent array of accessories as well, although he is really scene specific because it's for this final battle. He's getting beat up by Bane, but that's a really cool set. DC Multiverse and McFarlane toys in general, I actually didn't pick up a ton. I did get a few others, and there were some cool releases, but I'm really trying to not buy too many DC Multiverse and McFarlane figures in general, just because I don't have the room and it's money and all that. Did not get the Kickstarter, Medieval Spawn Kickstarter this year, because I did get it the 3-pack, and those are going out later, so that will more than likely be on my list for 2025 this year. G.I. Joe Classified, again, another line I'm trying to get a lot less figures from, just to, save my wallet a bit, and I don't have like the super massive attachment to G.I. Joe, so I'm trying to slow down a bit. I even sold a decent little chunk of my collection there, but we got some really good stuff this year. This retro card, Scarlet, is really, really good. This almost made the list. Like, this is probably one of my favorite female figures in my entire collection. It's just a really, really well done figure in my opinion. The Techno Viper is also really cool. I really love that design. Marvel Legends, again, you can see my top 10 for that if you want to see like the full what my favorite just specifically Legends were. But Superior Spider-Man was a big one for me this year. This is a figure I really wanted them to update, and they did a really good job there. An interesting figure I got is this is a knockoff of the Amazing Yamaguchi Agent Venom from CT Toys that has been floating around the toy community quite a bit lately. This guy was really cheap. He's like 36 bucks Canadian. And, if you told me this was an official release from Yamaguchi and not a knockoff, I would have believed you. Like, the joints are all solid. The paint is clean. Comes with all the accessories he's supposed to come with. And this is a really, really cool figure. The articulation is obviously crazy because it's Amazing Yamaguchi. It looks pretty good, even though I'm not usually a fan of the anime style they give these figures. It looks pretty cool on Agent Venom, and tons of really cool accessories. Makes it a really cool figure, but I didn't want to put it on the list because it's the knockoff. It's technically not like a new thing that CT Toys made. They just copied, but still really cool. Wanted to mention it. Back there, we have the normal AMK model kit from Yolo Park for the Rise of the Beast Scourge. Super cool kit. Way more accurate than the Studio Series figure. Really good articulation. Cool accessories. I love that you can remove the mask and you can put on the face to make him have that, have that mask look, which is super nice. I like it so much that I actually sold my Studio Series Scourge because that one was really inaccurate. Yeah, I just really like this. This one's good enough for me. And Yellow Park did some awesome stuff, which you'll see later. Star Wars, I feel like Star Wars had like a decent year, but I feel it was definitely weaker than previous years. Black Series did have some really good figures, but there was also a lot of stuff I wasn't like going head over heels or rushing to pick up, or things that were just like fine, but I didn't have to have right away, all that. Super Battle Droid is a really, really good one. And again, I have a full top 10 video for just Black Series if you want to check that out. TVC as well, I think had a decent year. Some characters got figures I really wanted them to get in TVC, and two of them here are Count Dooku and Jango Fett. But I think, again, it was just not the most strongest year compared to like 2023, which I thought got a lot of really cool figures made. This one, not as many in my opinion, but still not a bad year for them. And then my latest addiction is Joy Toy Warhammer 40K. I've been in a real Warhammer mode lately, and I've been absolutely loving Joy Toys 1/18 scale Warhammer 40K line. Absolutely love these figures. They're really well articulated, superbly painted and sculpted. They look absolutely incredible. Come with a bunch of accessories. This figure line is awesome. It's easily one of my favorite favorite figure lines to collect right now. And I just have three of them here just to showcase. I got a bunch this year. Most from this year, some from previous years, but like these two Praetors, the Imperial Fist Praetor and the Sons of Horus Legion Praetor, are so sick. They're so cool. The weapons are awesome. Articulation's good. They just look absolutely beautiful. And then behind them is the Sons of Horus Jester and Terminator, which I also really, really like a lot. Super awesome figures that Joy Toy is putting out, and you'll definitely be seeing them on the list. They're kind of the reason why this is a top 15 list, if I'm being honest. Anyways, I've rambled along long enough. Let's get into the actual top 10. All right, so at number 1 is kind of a different thing, something I don't usually get, but it is actually a indie company figure. It is the Loose Collector La Muerta figure that they've done from Coffin Comics. So this is one of those instances where I had no idea this character even existed until I saw video reviews from other toy YouTubers and influencers and whatnot, and that kind of convinced me to buy it because it looked really good. When I did order this figure, I did read some of the comics, so I'm somewhat familiar with the character now. But it's just a really cool design, sexy Latina lady in, skeleton garb, who is basically a mystical Punisher, sort of. That's kind of the vibe anyways. But really well done figure. The plastic feels pretty good. The sculpt and the paint is really well done as well. All this like detail of the skull and whatnot, skeleton bits are nice and clean, as well as the face paint looks really good, and the head sculpt in general looks great. Comes with a decent array of accessories, a little bit of weapon storage. Yeah, it's overall a really solid figure. But it's just high on my list because, one, I just don't have even after reading some of the comics, I still just don't have the hugest attachment to the character. And then also, I do think these figures from this collector are a bit overpriced. I get that it's a indie company and they're going to be more expensive, but I mean, this was $100 Canadian, and like after tax, you're looking at like $115 for this. Yeah, I don't know. It's like cool, but she doesn't come with a ton of stuff. A decent amount, but not a ton of stuff. There's nothing like, there's no reinventing the wheel here with this figure. It just feels kind of like a higher quality Marvel Legends, and it doesn't feel quite like import level. So yeah, I don't know. I would have been even a bit more agreeable at even $80 after tax Canadian, but still, it's a really cool figure, and I did want to include it. I did actually do a full video review of this figure if you want to see that, but yeah, La Muerta at number 15. At number 14, we do have my number 1 for my top 10 Star Wars The Black Series figures. It is Darth Maul, the new Phantom Menace one, just the standard release. I got this guy actually pretty cheap, got him on sale, but yeah, it's just an awesome upgrade to the original figure. The new body mold looks a lot better, articulates a lot better. The new lightsaber accessory is good. yeah, it's just a solid upgrade overall. I just wish it had more accessories. And if you got the exclusive with the speeder bike, you did come with more accessories. But I was originally gonna get that, but it's just like expensive, and I was never gonna use display the bike, so it felt kind of spending money for no reason. So yeah, and considering the original Black Sea Drethmont came with so much stuff, I feel like there's no reason this one couldn't have either. But still cool figure. Glad they made it. Yeah, number 13 is a figure I wish wasn't so low on the list, but it just has too many issues. But I still really do love it. It is the Beast Kingdom Sauron from Fellowship of the Ring. My first Beast Kingdom figure. Good chance it'll be my only one for a long time, maybe ever. There is a lot of good stuff with this figure. I really like the size. I really like the proportions. I think they did a good job with that. Like the helmet doesn't look too elongated. The limbs and everything look nicely proportioned. I really like the paint that is there. The dark silver with the black wash looks really good. I really like the soft goods too. The cloak he has is soft goods and wired in multiple spots, so you can really make it look dynamic, as I've done here. Articulation's pretty good, but there are a fair amount of issues I have with it. Like, one, it's just expensive. I definitely think it could have been cheaper. Doesn't come with many accessories. All you get is his mace and 2 sets of hands, gripping hands and these open hands. He definitely could have came with some more hand options. Would have been cool if maybe he came with a diorama style display base maybe. I don't know, maybe there's some other stuff that maybe could have included with it. I don't know. He's pretty light on accessories though. And for whatever reason, they didn't paint the one ring on his right hand. They sculpted it on both right hands, but they did not paint it. It's just in the same color as his armor, so it gets lost in the sculpt. It would have taken literally one little lick of gold paint, and that's all they had to do. And for some reason, they didn't do it. So that, coupled with some other things, like some of the joints are maybe a little looser than I'd like them to be. It's a really cool figure. I still think it is the best articulated Sauron figure you can currently get out there, but it still has a lot of issues that keep it from being higher on the list, unfortunately. And at number 12, Marvel Legends is making their appearance on the list with my number 1 from my top 10 of Marvel Legends. It is the black costume, or the symbiote Spider-Man from the Secret Wars wave. I wasn't sure if I was even going to get this figure. I got lucky and was able to snag one from local GameStop that I had not pre-ordered. And I really like this figure. I've been wanting an update to the Pizza Spidey symbiote Spider-Man I've had for a while. And this one's really good. Pinless joints, the proportions are a lot better, great articulation, the accessories are good, and the thing that I really love is this alternate head sculpt with the squinting angry eyes. That just looks so awesome on the symbiote Spider-Man body. It's surprising it's taken them so long to do a headed this way on a symbiote Spider-Man or black costume Spider-Man, but I absolutely love it. It looks awesome. So I'm really happy with this. This is one I definitely wanted to have in the collection, and it just kind of narrowly beat out the Superior Spider-Man, because I was also really excited for that figure. And number 11 is a little bit of a cheat, because it's just going to be basically an entire line of figures and not just one single figure, but I'm giving it to the Jada Toys Street Fighter line. This line is definitely showing a lot of us collectors what companies can do at that normal price point of 20 to 30 bucks. Jada's paying for licensing for Street Fighter, and we're just getting incredible figures. They feel high quality, they're pinless, they articulate really well, they come with a bunch of accessories, some of those being like on Bison, a soft goods wired cape, interchangeable parts, interchangeable head sculpts, effect pieces. The articulation smooth on most of these figures. They're just absolutely excellent. A lot of people are singing their praises, and there's a reason for it. This is just really, really good quality and really good bang for your buck. I don't think there's other lines that really give you quite the bang for your buck that these figures do. But I just have to do it for the whole line, because I think they're all really good. If I had to absolutely pick one, I'd probably say Bison's my favorite from the line this year. But I got Guile and Cammy at the very end of this year, and they're both really, really good. And then I also have Dhalsim from this year, and then I got her this year, but she came out last year. I got the Chun-Li as well. So not a line I'm going to go all in on, because I don't have a huge attachment to Street Fighter, which is why these aren't higher on the list. But just such an excellent figure line that I think needed to be mentioned on the list here. Next up at 10, is it? I think this is 10. We have my slot for G.I. Joe Classified. Again, like I said, trying to cut back on G.I. Joe Classified and start to really only collect ones I really want to have. But these are two I really wanted to have, but I really just could not pick between the two. So I'm putting them both in the same slot. It is the Iron Grenadier as well as the retro card Cobra Commander. I was really hoping they'd do a new Cobra Commander, a classic Cobra Commander, especially a mainline one after the one that came in the HasLab that I didn't get. And just such a cool figure. The sculpted paint is great. He's pinless. Decent array of accessories. I absolutely love they were able to do the back chrome visor, which looks awesome. My only real issues is I think he could have maybe come with some more accessories, a scepter, a cloak. I would love the hooded head sculpt, alternate head sculpt, but they are avoiding that like the plague. Some other hand options would have been nice, but still, really, really great figure. He doesn't come with this Megatron gun. This actually comes from the Red Series Shockwave, if you're wondering. And then, oh, sorry. Aside from the accessories, the articulation, he has all the articulation you'd want on G.I. Joe Classified. The problem with the Cobra Commander is his joints are really tight and almost feel like they're ratcheted. And he's just not that fun to pose. Like, he's not fun to just pick up and mess with because the articulation isn't fluid and smooth. It's there, but it's just super tight and tough to move. So I kind of posed him and threw him on the shelf and didn't touch him again. That's the biggest issue I have with that figure. And then the Iron Grenadier, I really like this a lot. It does have reuse from the waist down of the Crimson Guard's legs, but I think that's okay. I absolutely love the design they went with. I like the sort of combination of businessman and soldier they went with. This officer's looks really nice. All the little details, the belt buckles, the sashes and stuff look really good. He comes with a bunch of accessories. Love the design of the helmets. Iron Grenadiers are definitely, I think, my second favorite. I'd say my first favorite is probably Crimson Guard, then Iron Grenadiers, but really happy that they ended up making Iron Grenadiers. So yeah, couldn't pick between the two. They're both really good and kind of equally my favorites for this year for G.I. Joe Classified. Next up, we are talking about YOLO Park again, and their AMK Pro line has been so cool. Really producing some really quality, well, models, but basically figures at a pretty reasonable price point, in my opinion. And this one I got really, really late in the year, but I did get it in 2024. It is the AMK Pro Last Night Optimus Prime / Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. This design definitely works best as a non-transforming figure, be it model or like 3-0 Deluxe, DLX, or anything like that, because the design does not translate well into a transforming figure, as has been obvious from Hasbro's recently revealed Studio Series figure. But yeah, I mean, this model just looks absolutely incredible. All the paint and sculpted detail, you can just see, it looks absolutely awesome. He has light up eyes, which is great. The articulation's pretty good for the most part. It comes with a good array of accessories. The build was good, albeit a little more annoying than some of the G1 AMK Pro figures, which I guess makes sense because it's a lot more busy of a design. There are some accessories I wish this figure came with. Like, he doesn't come with any of the handheld guns. For some reason, they don't like giving those. A lot of companies, either third party or Hasbro, don't like giving those accessories to this version of Optimus, but he's supposed to have like a full-on rifle from Age of Extinction, and then in Last Night he has like a smaller handheld like pistol ion blaster that you almost never see included with this type of Optimus, which is a little weird. But he has the sword and the shield. These are the arm blades, some different hands. You can swap the faces out for Battle Mask or normal mouth, and you can also get the parts to make him have the red mark for the Nemesis Prime. But then the problem with the Nemesis Prime one is it didn't change the color of the eyes when you swap it, so he has the wrong color eyes when you do that. So that's, you know, a little annoying. He also has like weird things, like he's got these weird bits on his bicep, which I assume is probably accurate to the design, but they get in the way of the bicep swivel, which is really annoying. And the articulation is just a little more awkward than the other like G1 YOLO AMK Pro models, but still really, really, really cool figure that I'm really glad they made and happy to have, because it's right now it's the best looking Age of Extinction Last Night Optimus I have in my collection. Next up, we're now going into the world of Joy Toy Warhammer 40k. Like I said, these guys got a lot of slots on my list because I absolutely love these figures this year. They really just produce some awesome stuff. And the first one we're talking about is the Primarch of the Thousand Suns Legion, Magnus the Red. The Primarchs are among some of the best figures I think they make for the Warhammer 40k line. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be a 1/18th scale figure. It's supposed to scale for 3 3/4 inch, and he is massive. He is taller than all the 6-inch figures I have here. He's about as tall as the Viola Park Optimus I just showed you. He's taller if you count these bits on his back here. And Magnus, I actually liked more than I thought I was going to. He looks absolutely awesome. Like I said, he's really big. He's the tallest Primarch. In terms of total mass, not quite the biggest, but he is the tallest Primarch. Articulates really well. The armor and design just looks really, really good. The accessories are good with these staff, and he's got a couple of psychic, like magic effects and different hand options. Just such a solid figure. I'm really happy with this guy. He's super good. And I gotta get some of his Legion soon. Next up, another Warhammer Joy Toy figure. I have, I might be saying his name wrong, Ezekiel Abaddon. You know, I'm still somewhat new to all the lore and whatnot. There is a audio book I listened to where they pronounce it Ezekiel Abaddon, but it could also be pronounced Ezekiel Abaddon. I'm honestly not sure. I'm gonna call him Abaddon just because that's how it was said in the audiobook. But really great figure. The Sons of Horus is the main Legion I'm focusing on for the most part. And you got to have the first captain. He's the first captain, and he is huge. Not only is he in Terminator armor, but he's just a really big character, bigger than most other Space Marines. So he towers over most of my other figures. I think he's my biggest figure, excluding Primarchs. So that's awesome. All the paint and sculpted detail looks great. I like his accessories. He's got the big power sword. He also has a combi bolter. The lightning claws he's got are really cool and are articulated. He articulates really well in general. This helmeted head sculpt doesn't actually come stock with him. This is a custom from Cool's Toys Club. He does have an unhelmeted sculpt that also looks good, but I do prefer the helmeted look, which is why I bought it. But yeah, I absolutely love Abaddon. He is super, super sick. Next up at number 6, I think, is a Star Wars figure. So they did make it somewhat high. I got this pretty early in the year, and it's my only Mafex figure I currently own, but it is the Mafex's 2.0 Beskar Mandalorian. I think, excluding Hot Toys, this is the best Mando figure that I have. The sculpt and paint is really well done on this figure. It's got, I think, the most accurate helmet sculpt out of the figures I have, excluding Hot Toys. Comes with a ton of accessories, like all the weapons and stuff you'd want for him. Jetpack, effect parts for the wrist, tons of hands. He has an alternate unhelmeted Pedro Pascal head sculpt, which looks really good, that I actually display on one of my Figuarts figures of Beskar Mando. It's got a wired softgoods cape, which is good. Articulation's great. It's just a really, really good figure. Like, I think, like I said, again, excluding Hot Toys, I think this is the best articulated Mando figure you can currently get. You could probably make an argument for the Figuarts ones, maybe, but yeah, I just think they did a really good job in this. Sometimes I forget this came out this year because I got it so early in the year, and I haven't messed with it in a while, to be honest. But yeah, it's still really awesome. I'm really happy to have it. Now going back to Joy Toy Warhammer, again, another Horus Heresy figure. It is another Primarch. I did get Leman Russ, the Primarch of the Space Wolves, this year as well. And again, that's another super impressive figure. Again, supposed to be a 1/18th scale figure, but he's massive. He towers over them. Great articulation, detailed insanely well. Leman Russ also comes with a ton of accessories. You get a bunch of hand options. He gets his big ass power battle axe, his power sword. You get the power pack you can take off if you want. He's got a knife you can remove on his person. He's got a throwing axe you can store on his cloak. He's got a bolt revolver that has multiple moving parts, 2 different head sculpts for 2 different facial expressions, a shield that I have mounted on the back of his power pack right now, but he can hold as well if you want. Yeah, just all the accessories give you tons of options for this guy. He just looks so sick as well. I mean, it's Leman Russ. Just such an awesome figure, an awesome Primarch character. Again, another character I got to get some of his Legion for. I don't have any other Space Wolves right now. I have to remedy that soon, hopefully. But yeah, Leman Russ. So next figure is a Mezco figure. I am pretty picky with Mezco, but they released a couple figures this year that I ended up picking up. This one was one I had a wasn't 100% sure I was going to pick up, but I had a pretty good hunch I probably ended up picking it up, which obviously I did. And I really like it a lot, which is why it's so high on the list. I think Mezco did a really kick-ass job. It is the Green Goblin Marvel Mezco figure, 112 Collective. Yeah, I just think they absolutely nailed this guy for the most part. Looks great, pure classic. The outfit looks good. The plastic and soft goods bits, I think, meld really well together. Articulates well for the most part. I do wish he had a bit more range in the waist area, diaphragm waist area. Wish he crunched a little more, but otherwise it's pretty good. And then he comes with a ton of accessories. You get the glider, a bunch of effect parts for the glider. It has a bunch of different weapons and gadgets with different throwing weapons like pumpkin bombs and such. Effects that make it look like he's throwing pumpkin bombs. I've got the little finger zapping effect on him right now. A ton of hands. He also comes with 5 different head sculpts. You get 3 masked head sculpts with different expressions and then 2 unmasked head sculpts with different expressions. I think they nailed the sculpt for Norman, and I absolutely love the head I have on right now with this really crazed, deranged look. I think it looks so awesome. They really captured such an awesome emotion here. The unhingedness just looks so sick. And I love that they give you an accessory to make it look like he's holding the empty mask, which is super cool as well. Yeah, there's not too much else to say. I just absolutely love this figure. It's so awesome. I think by far the best Green Goblin figure, comic book style Green Goblin figure out there. But not that the Marvel Legends are bad, but this one is just so awesome. They did a really good job. Again, we are returning to YOLO Park one more time. AMK Pro. I'm cheating again a little bit. I could not pick between these two, but I do have the G1 Megatron and the G1 Optimus Prime. They just, I think, absolutely killed these kits. This Megatron's actually my favorite G1 Megatron I have in my entire collection. I think it's better in most ways than the Masterpiece figure. And then this Optimus, again, one of my favorite G1 Optimuses. In terms of pure robot mode, I actually prefer this over the Studio Series 86 figure. I think the proportions, the paint detail and design, the head design, and the articulation is just a lot better on the MK Pro kit, which in terms of articulation stuff makes sense. It doesn't have to have a transformation. I get it. And I think overall, I still prefer the 86 just because it offers a bit more options and obviously has a full transformation and all that jazz. But this thing is so good. Both of them, articulation's awesome. They both have light up features. They both come with quite a bit of accessories. Megatron comes with a lot of stuff. Optimus doesn't come with as much, still comes with a decent amount. And I like that they have the gimmick if you can open up, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it because I don't have any fingernails right now, but you can open up the communicator on his, oh, there we go, on his arm there, which is a nice little feature. Yeah, I just really love these. I pose them fighting each other, displaying them, and they just look great. They make for such nice pieces. If you're looking for G1 representations of Megatron and Optimus and you don't care about transformation, you got to get these. They're, I think, reasonably priced for what you get, and they're really good. Yeah, so at number 2 is the other Mezco figure I got this year. It is the Mezco 112 Doctor Doom. This thing is just incredible. This is a figure I actually wasn't even planning to pick up, but then I saw reviews and photos and I had to get it. A lot of die cast, which makes him really hefty and feel really nice. Pretty good articulation considering the design and being a Mezco. The soft goods work really well. The wired cape cloak is cool. And again, tons of accessories. You get different belt options, his pistol, ton of hands, effects and accessories for his like jet boosters and flying, a bunch of magic effects. He has 3 different masks, 2 different head sculpts. That big light up accessory of him that I don't know what it's called, but the device uses, I think, to suck up the powers of the Silver Surfer. Yeah, I think as of right now, I think this is the best Doctor Doom figure you can get. Hot Toys is actually releasing one, a comic book style Doctor Doom, so it'll be interesting to see how that stacks up. But yeah, for now, I think this one's king, and it's just such a sick figure. And at number 1 is a figure I did not think would be number 1, if I'm being honest. When I first got it, I knew it was going to be on my list, didn't think it was going to be number 1, but it stayed on my desk for months after I got it. Like, even if I wasn't actively messing with it every day, I just always loved just looking at it, because it's such an incredible looking figure. It is crazy how good it is. And it is the figure that actually started my Joy Toy Warhammer addiction, and it's kind of crazy. This one was my first figure, but it's just absolutely incredible. It is the War Master Horus himself, Mr. Horus Heresy himself, from Joy Toy Warhammer Horus Heresy, the Primarch of the Sons of Horus, my main legion I'm collecting. This figure is absolutely insane. He is huge. He's really tall. He's very hefty, hugely bulky, has a good amount of weight to him. And surprisingly and really well articulated. You think someone who's so bulky and armored up wouldn't articulate very well, and you can't do crazy dynamic like ninja poses, obviously, but you don't need him to do that anyways. You can still get him looking very dynamic. All the claws on his talon, the Horus, here are all individually articulated. I love the wrist, the talon mounted combi bolter. His World Breaker mace is almost the height of him, and it looks super awesome. It's got the little knife on the side you can remove and have him hold if you want. He has a couple other hand options for the left hand. Head sculpt's great. It's just such an incredible figure. Like I cannot. It's like an art piece, honestly. I hate to like be so gushing over a toy at the end of the day, but it's like I don't know any else way to describe it. This thing is like an art piece. The amount of love and effort that went into this figure is insane. It is super incredible. And if you collect Joy Toy Warhammer 40K figures, you gotta have this one. Even though it is really expensive, but you gotta get this one. It is insanely good. Anyways, that is it. That was a really long video, so I apologize if you watched a good chunk of it. I applaud you and thank you for doing so. But that is my top 15 figures of 2024. It was overall an insane year for figures, as it usually is, and I'm sure 2025 will follow suit as well with a lot of great releases, I'm sure. Check out my other top 10 videos if you want to see other things. Again, like I said, I've got Black Series, top 10 TVC, top 10 Marvel Legends, and top 10 like 6 scale, 3-0 DLX, etc. Lists on the top 10 Transformers lists I did previously. And then we got this one. But overall, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching my videos over the year if you have been doing so. I appreciate all the views, support, comments, all that sort of stuff. I know I don't get that many, but anyone who does watch and all that, I appreciate it truly. Happy New Year to everyone. I know it's belated because I'm recording this video pretty late, but happy New Year and best wishes to you all. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks, guys. May the Force be with you.